Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and we welcome you to the Let's Talk Fabulous show with Tamara. My name is Tamara Hunter, and I am your host. This is a show where we explore our fabulous lives with subject matter experts. Today is a family-friendly, fun show. We are going to be talking about the earth and all the fun things that have something to do with it. And so without much more of a clue, I want you though to grab all of your family, all your friends, the little ones too, and let them know this show is for all of you. With that, let's talk. Hello to all of my friends. It is Earth Day and almost this Saturday. We have one more guest that will be here soon. This is live and sometimes technical issues take place. With that, I want to go around the room and have you introduce yourself. Let me know who you are, where you are today, and your title. And then from there, we're going to tell your story a little bit through some videos too. So I'm going to start with you, David. Introduce yourself.
My name is Edward David Jones. I'm in Modesto, California. And I got many labels, many titles. But lately, I'm calling myself an activist for water conservation. And when I grow up, I'm going to be an environmentalist.
I love that line. I have to say, I absolutely love it. Skip.
Yes, and he's a genius, I tell you. He on many topics. I can witness that. And great to see you and all of you here. I'm Skip Thomas. I'm a filmmaker. I've been doing this for a long time. Worked with Tamara back in the chemo cancer buddy days for a long time. I'm in Mountain View, Arkansas, in the holler, as they call it, in the Ozark Mountains. And just at this point in my life, working to give back to the community and to the earth, and which I think we're part of the earth. So this is an opportunity to share and work with amazing people like everybody here. So thank you, Tamara, for inviting me.
Thank you, Skip. And Barry.
Hi, Tamara. Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Barry B. Mixon, and I am an international science educator and a gemmological storyteller. What I do is I take the art, science, history, and magic of gemstones, precious metals, and fine jewelry, and I put them all together into a story in order to use it as a template to empower and to help people discover the value of their own stories. And I am here in beautiful, I'm happy to say this, beautiful Chicago, Illinois, because the sun is out today, so it's beautiful. Tomorrow might be something different.
You never know in the Midwest, as they call it. Lately, I mean, I know that you are in Arkansas, Skip, and yet, David, you're in the California area, and we were talking about that last night, my old stomping ground, and it's a little bit of a different story when it comes to weather, and so I love that, Barry. You know, I'm going to start off right now with a video that was actually produced by Barry, is working a lot with Barbara Beckley, one of our favorites here at the show, and she produced a segment that tells the story that we're now going to explore a little deeper. So let's start with that. are so many fun facts here, and I want to start exploring this. However, before we do, I want to recognize one of our viewers, and we encourage our studio audience, yes, you are, to comment as we're going through this today. Let us know where you are and who's with you. And we'd love to know if you have the kiddos with you too. And Helene Wilson is one of our ambassadors for the show. So I want to say hello to Helene, as she says, to hello to everyone else that comes and joins us. And so, we so appreciate that. And Caroline, Toronto, Canada, it's an international group. I love it. And thank you, Caroline, for being the production coordinator for this show. So with that, okay, so many fun facts. Let's dive in. The world has been around for billions of years, it says. And we know that we are celebrating Earth Day, but Earth Day has only been a few days, a few decades. Yet we have been celebrating the world for generations and generations since the beginning of time. And I want to explore that a little bit because we've got some people that are very into water, gems. Once Swampy gets here, he's into the whole thing. And then Skip, you've traveled the whole world and videoed people in regards to all of this. So who would like to step in and start sharing what your thoughts are in honoring our world?
Skip, go ahead and just start it out, Skip.
I was going to say the same to you, Barry. Every day is Earth Day. We are a part of this Earth, and what we've are coming to realize is, if you think about what this place represents and the wisdom and the knowledge we can gain, and certainly the reason to preserve that and protect that wisdom, is that Lakota, David Swallow said it once in one of the interviews. He was a Lakota, and he said, the snakes, the animal, the birds, the four-leggeds, the trees, they all remember their original instructions. The educated two-legged has forgotten theirs. So much of what we now are at is listening to nature, paying attention. I was up here last night with my daughter. We had this festival here 40 plus years. She has a master's in clinical psychology, but she specialized because I got her involved in some programs that were very much organic related. But what she does is she works with people connecting to nature. Instead of going hiking, they call it forest baths. Hiking is like, let's go here, we're going to get to that destination, as she was explaining it. And what forest bathing is you go along the way and you're present. You experience the things along the journey instead of the destination. And I think what we get so focused on is our past and our future. Oh my God, is like, what can we do right now in this time, certainly to reconnect us, not only to ourselves and our connection to God, Great Spirit, to the earth, but to each other, and use that in a healing way. And she talked about now science is proving that connection with nature is actually, measurable in terms of effectiveness. I mean, it's our best medicine is this earth. So let's take care of it.
I love it. I love it. Who would anybody like to say something to that?
Well, what I'll say is, and thanks, Skip, you did that wonderfully. What amazes me, I've been studying gemology for 19 years now. And the thing that fascinates me about gemstones is no matter where you are in the world, every culture, every religion, every geographic location understands and has a connection with gemstones. I mean, let's admit, we as human beings, we don't get along with a whole lot of things. We argue about everything, but you put gold in front of everybody. I don't care where you are. China, oh, that's gold. Jamaica, yeah, man, that's gold. I mean, everyone understands. You talk about jade. Jade is the stone of heaven in Asian cultures, but jade also, when the conquistadors came to South America, they said, okay, you can take this, but you can't get our jade. And then when, so it's jade is an example of how we are already connected to the earth, because how do you have a whole group of people all over the world for thousands of years have the same relationship with a gemstone, whether it be a ruby, a diamond, an emerald, turquoise. Turquoise is not just an American Indian thing. Turquoise is an Egyptian thing. So the same thing that Cleopatra loved 5,000 years ago, Skip's friend, who's a Lakota Indian, understands the connection of turquoise in his culture. How does that happen? It has to be on a whole different level. And that's what I get the honor to talk about every day in my classes and on my show. So thank you.
I love it.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
what is that background? I love that background behind you, Barry. What is that?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. This is the symbol of my company. The name of my company is the Gem Hunter, Gemmological Appraisals and Storytelling Services. Art, science, history, magic. And literally this represents, you can't see the bottom one, but rubies, sapphires, citrine, which is quartz, and at the bottom would be emerald. And in the middle is a diamond. So all the whole history of mankind really revolves around these gemstones. And that was the starting point for me, is how we as human beings can connect to something as beautiful as a gemstone, as rare, and yet we all see value in that. And if we can see value in that, how can I extrapolate that out to see value in other things? That's why today's show was so wonderful. How do you heal the earth? And the first thing I do is tell a story.
You know, and that's perfect. And Skip is a storyteller. And actually, I want to highlight a video about what David is doing, because he's actually telling stories with children, and you're going to see a little bit of this. And yes, Skip, I agree 100%. He's one of the smartest men I know. That is the truth. Here we go.
I decided to be an entrepreneur to develop this product, which is patented, that I have. And in the process, I started thinking of what I could do to make a living from home. I live on a farm. This is a 2-acre farm that I'm living on. And in the back there, we grow rabbits. We're rabbit breeders. I bought some of my furry friends right here. I don't know if you can see them.
All right. And then I've got some pictures of your furry friends.
Now, these are some of my students. They came to our class, and what we do in the class, in our office right over there, I turn my house into an office. We've got a table with 20 chairs in there. We invite homeschool groups to come out. We're now getting K-12 school groups to come out. We build worm bins, and we supply them with worms. They want us to set up their AG department and teach their class about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. This is Vivian. Picture you just put up. She came about two months ago to our class. We gave her a sunflower seed. What you see there is she planted the sunflower seeds. We let her put it in a cup of dirt, and we told them to take it home and plant it and see what comes out. She planted. This is the first one that sent the picture back. We're so proud of her because they were so much fun.
Hola.
Wow.
So much fun. And you have kids come and have experiences and do so much on your farm there in in California. And you also are a patent holder that is a part of this book. I have it. Yes, I've read it. Amazing. And you are all about changing our world and educating our youth to do it too. Tell us a little more.
Okay. I became an activist for water conservation. Every one of us, all God's creatures, even plants, trees, everything needs water. So here on this third rock from the sun, in the known universe, the only planet with water, and we human beings use it in such detrimental ways that I just had to write a book about it, the Aftermeal, and I have to tell a story about the things that we do. My companies are called OMT, which is a nonprofit, OMT stands for one man's trash, other man's treasure. We seek to commercialize waste. All the single-use items, the things that inhabit, that things that we throw away. We are a throwaway society, and we throw away too many things. In that capacity, we also throw away water. We take things like the habits that we human beings develop, such as urinating into fresh water. Those are habits. Those are detrimental habits. Think 350 million people in the United States alone, 3 times a day we go to the washrooms. 3.5 gallons of water to 5 gallons, we engulf our waste and we send it off to another land. That is a habit that is very detrimental to our earth. Our earth can't handle all of the waste that we put out. And when you think about the meal, the common everyday meal where the family sits and resides and gets ready to take part in a meal, just think of the waste that generates. When you go to a restaurant, you're going to get a burger, a fry, and a drink. The burger weighs 3.4 ounces, quarter pounder. But that drink, that cup, 16 ounces. That's 16 ounces of liquid. You're going to drink the syrup off of that, but there's going to be 8 ounces of ice left. What happens? We generally throw that ice into the black liner bag, the cup and the lid and the straw, and that adds to the pollution factor. Okay, so I invented this machine, which I call the water wheel. What this machine actually does is it separates ice from the things that we drink. Water, ice, the main conditioner for all of our drinks. Tea, coffee, milk, soda, we put ice in it. Ice is not a throwaway product. What happens, they all mix into the black liner bag, all these various elements, where water being a universal solvent, it mixes freely with everything. You mix it with tissue, it's going to turn to mush. You mix it with metals, it's going to turn to corroded factor. So I came up with the bright idea to separate ice from things when we throw them away at the point of creating garbage. It is not garbage until we add water to it. It is post-packaging. Everything you buy comes in a package. It comes in some kind of wrapper. These wrappers are our natural resources, our Earth's natural resources. We throw away greater than 10% of them every day when we put them into the black liner bag. On top of that, we add water.
You know, water seems to be a common theme here.
Yeah.
David, not to step on your words right now, but I want to keep going in regards to this and step into, because I have a video actually from Professor Barry that kind of piggybacks exactly off of what you're talking about right now. And then we can continue this discussion because it is so absolutely timing. I think Barry's like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's like so perfect. Okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Professor Barry, and I often teach my students one of the greatest things that you can do to help heal the earth, you can do actually right at your home. This is like, it is the 5th largest lake in the world and the 3rd largest lake in the United States. Millions of people, in fact 35 million people in over 7 states get all their fresh water right here. Fresh water is not renewable. Our source of life starts here. So think about that every time you just run your bathtub water, or run the water in your kitchen sink, or even brushing your teeth. When you turn off that water, what you're doing is helping me and millions of other people and life forms and species that depend on this water to live. So think about that every time you run the water at your home. You're doing more than just saving water. You're helping heal the earth.
Wow, thank you.
Wow, right? I mean, you could not have planned that better in regards to this subject. And I will say this, I live in the southern part, I mean, not Southern California anymore, I don't. I'm in the middle of the United States, and so is Skip, and so is Barry, basically. And we've been experiencing a lot of water coming from those clouds. However, with that said, there are still areas in the world that are experiencing a drought situation or near drought situation. And what you're talking about, David, and what you just shared, Barry, and what I know you've filmed a lot, Skip. And if Swampy was here, he'd be like, yeah, I'm all about that. Is that water, and you said it so well in that clip, Professor Barry, is that it is not a renewable. It has to come from the sky. So that's where the renewal, if some scientists would say, wait a minute, but it has to still rain. It has to, but we can't just develop it here on this earth quite yet. And so to have a machine that you've patented that will help us with, and that's part of it too, is that when we understand the difference between fresh water and gray or brown water or black water or whatever you want to call it, when you start thinking about all the different aspects of it, it gets back to, again, respecting our world, right, Skip? Like what you were talking about, and the ancestral knowledge of us forgetting what our role is here on this world, and yet the four-leggeds will remember theirs. Right. And we, as a consumer driven community, sometimes we're forgetting that we need to be respectful of things like our water and some of these other resources.
Exactly.
Right.
This is why I developed that system, because we are a throwaway society. We developed a system to encapsulate that, where when you leave a restaurant, you want to, you normally take the cup and you throw everything into the little black liner bag. But what my system does is allows you to take that cup, take the lid off and straw out, stack the straw, stack the lid, empty the contents of that cup into my machine, where it separates ice from whatever you're drinking. The ice is traveled into a compartment where it is melted, and it is focused into a toilet or lawn application. Who needs to urinate in fresh water?
We are family friendly. Let's say go powder your nose.
A few habits that, we have. So we throw away water, and we don't have to. That water is usable. We can get a second use out of that water instead of just throwing it away. So those are the things I'm involved in, and those are the things that tweak my boat.
Well, and I'm so glad they do tweak your boat, because we need more people on that water with their boats sailing, with this whole idea. And yes, I see your hand, Professor Barry. I'd love to hear what you had to say. Follow up.
I want to say that what David is talking about is what I do in regards to, he's telling a story. Because think about what he did. Even when I watched his I looked at his website, and I thought the same thing Skip said. Brilliant, because that's the whole essence of telling a story. Sometimes you have to go back to really, the way to heal the earth is to see the connection. And I went to the supermarket the other day. I know I had a cup of something. I know I throw it out. And now watching that video made me think of how many times I've just thrown ice away. And that's what we have to do. Tamara, when you said, can you add a video? I looked outside my bedroom window. I'm like, I don't need to go anywhere. All I need to do is go right outside and see the connection of here's Lake Michigan. But now we see in other places in the world, lakes can dry up. David lives in California. He lives in a state where Lake Mead is drying up. So we have to see that although it may not be happening right here for me in Lake Michigan, there's the potential that it can. And that's why telling stories is important, because you get to see the relationship. We got 35 million people here, depending on Lake Michigan, but you got 40 million people in California, depending on Lake Mead. So those different things is how we heal the earth, where David's story is my story. The child that lives in Syria is my story. What's happening in Florida with the floods? I'm fine today, but guess what? Those floods happening in Florida, or the earthquakes and things, or tornadoes happening in Arkansas where Skip lives, that can happen here. So that's why story is so important to be able to compare and see what we can take out of that in order so it doesn't. How do we heal the earth?
Yes.
Absolutely. I want to play one of Swampy. Swampy's been trying to come in and out. He is having technical problems right now. And Swampy has been with us for years and years. In fact, this is a 2020 t-shirt for Earth Day because it's one of his missions. He has a nonprofit also. We have a lot of nonprofits represented here, which I love. I want to just say I love the fact that we have so many people that are dedicated to get out there and tell the story that we need to do better. We can do better. And if we just learn, and I love what was shared by Lawana, and I want to share it here. And she's talking about the Native Americans saying, treat the earth well. It is not given to you by your parents. It's in loan from your children. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. We are more than the sum of our knowledge, and we are the products of our imagination. And I mean, beautiful, beautiful. And Lawana, you got to hang in there because you're going to love the video from Skip. That just goes along right in alignment. Go ahead, Skip.
Well, and I just want to jump on that because I was writing down that note that we want to put on there because it relates so much to the ancestral wisdom of we are part of this earth and we're the earth's medicine and we don't really own it. We are a part of it. And my grandfather, my ancestry was Cherokee. My great grandfather was spotted horse. My great grandmother was full blooded Cherokee. And my grandfather, half blooded, would take me out into nature and he'd talk about being a steward of this great earth and the earth medicine that it provides you. And even as a kid, we go to campsites or wherever, and he'd go, our mission is to leave it better than we found it. And over and over, I heard that repeated. And when he passed away, I thought, please, I wish I had learned more of your ancestral and indigenous wisdom. And he said, well, you'll always hear me because I'll be in the wind. And again, it's how we are connected.
Nice.
As a tribe, as individuals, to our ancestors and that of wisdom. But no, I love that quote.
I love it. I love it. And I saw a note saying that Barbara Beckley, thank you, and Caroline both are they are behind the scenes production people for this show and many others. And I thank you. And they're working to get Swampy on. And right now I want to share a video of yes. And then
I just want to say one thing. I want to say one thing to the kids that are watching. Just think about how cool it is. Your name is Swampy. See, as a kid, you're like, oh my God, they call me Swampy. Here's a man that his name, doesn't it sound, so I want to meet him just because his name is Swampy. Wow.
You're gonna find out more about that through 2 videos, actually. Okay, here's the first one.
Hey everybody, this is Ken Swampy Glade, sharing with you healing through nature. Swampy comes around through the United States looking at all the different aspects of the environment, sharing throughout, whether it's the tropical, Alaska, the Great Dismal Swamp. Swampy's an acronym. He's a little cartoon character, and you can always find him with a little guy making kids laugh and have fun. So let's all be kids and get out and enjoy like we were as we grow up. We look at our animals, grizzly bear, our plants, and do a swampy cheer. Soils, waters. A is for animals. M is for mankind. P is for our plants. And Y is our youth. Have fun. Happy Earth Day, April 22nd.
So, and Swampy, when I first met Swampy a long time ago, he was wearing those overalls. And I don't remember if he had his roller skates on or not. And this was an event where most people were in suits. And he's in his blue jeans with the painted and his hat. And that's his accent. And another brilliant man that has served at very high levels throughout the world, and helped in our environment and saw the need for him to go out there and have this Swampy character that he shows up with his hat and his rollerblades, and he's got a snake as a necklace and the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, I have to know you. I have to know you, and I need to know what it is that you're all about. And that's what it was. And he's like, the swamplands are so important. And I'm really hoping that we can get him on, because he really is. Oh, in fact, I think that might be, this is Barbara. Barbara, I'm not quite sure what you guys are doing, but you're helping to bring them on right now. Barbara, we want to say hello to Barbara Beckley. Anybody that doesn't know her, she is a jewel to have.
Yes.
A jewel. And you're going to help us with Swampy? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. So guys, forgive me. I am just going to keep going. What we're going to do right now is I am going to be sharing the Swampy song. And hopefully by the time we get this done, because this is for kids, guys, and it is a song, a Swampy song. Here we go.
Swampy, Swampy, tell us something new. Soil, water, animals, mankind, plants, and you. Well, the S stands for soils that we walk on every day, but the soils in Swampy's pants are a dark gray. The W is for water that makes a wetland wet. The A is for animals, every kind of animal that passes through or stays and nests. Now the M is for mankind, who needs to treat mankind. Without it, where would we live? The P is for plant life, growing on the ground, nice and even way over our heads. Y is the last letter, pulling Swampy all together. Y stands for you and you and you, you and you and you. Swampy, Swampy, tell us something new today. Swampy, Swampy, all the weather's gonna stay. Well, the crickles and the creeks and the rills and the licks, the oceans, ponds, rivers and seas, or the bogs and the swamps, marshes and fens, all the water shallow or deep. Swampy, Swampy, tell us something new. Soil, water, animals, mankind, plants, and you.
And we have Swampy, and I've been going around my house singing, Swampy, Swampy, tell us something new. So Swampy, I think we've got you, at least we've got a picture, but it looks like you might be frozen.
It might be frozen.
Here we go. Yay, Swampy.
Can't hear you now. Okay.
Okay, now we're working on sound. This is live. Yes, is the Wild Wild West of streaming TV.
Hey, you got Smokey the Bear behind him. Wow, I haven't seen Smokey in a long time.
Well, let's do this. We're working on sound still, and we'll let that continue working. So, I love the fact that for bringing the youth in. I mean, David, you have the kids come in, and when we showed that picture, and you showed the picture of the sunflower, here they come, they put the seed in the soil, and then they send you the picture, and there it is, nearly as tall as the kid is in just a short period of time. How exciting is that? And Professor Barry, you're out there with the kids, and I'm sure you have a picture that you have that like a fake gemstone, but big. I bet those kids, if they ever get to touch that, they probably think that's the coolest thing.
What I do real quick is I usually, when I was in Chicago public school system, I would have rough gemstones put in the bag, and a rough gemstone doesn't look all that hot, right? And they'll pick them. Oh, I don't like this one. I don't like this one. And then when I show them or tell them that that's a ruby, that stone that they were ready to throw away because it didn't look like nothing, it was all brown. It's like, oh my God, now it's mine. And then I show them how they are rough gemstones. As young children, they're rough gemstones, and with some polishing and faceting, God knows how beautiful they're going to become. And it makes them look differently at themselves because they see what they can become using their gemstones as a template.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see if we have Swampy. We're having problems. Okay, Swampy, can we hear you? Hello? Let's see if we can hear you. Well, we see you. Can you say something? We're not hearing you yet. Okay. They're still working on that. So let's
David, you know you're gonna have to have a song now. After hearing Swampy, you're gonna have a garbage song now. You know that.
What I do have is the whale. I call it my machine Wally whale. The whale is the right whale. The whale is coming back from extinction. With respect to healing the earth, what I wanted to depart to the children is that your aftermeal, your leftover food waste, is so very important that you recognize what it does. You know, it causes a kind of garbage, a kind of toxic waste that's infiltrating our environment. We are leaving this to the kids. They must be aware of how to not pollute. So that's where when I go to a school or something, I take a big pail of insects and worms and soil. The girls love it. They're pushing the little guys out of the way, like, hey, there's a roly-poly in there. And actually love the soil. The things that are in the soil, the worm, God's gift to the earth, bugs, beetles. Kids don't see those things every day. To bring them to their attention is such a reward, to see the smile, and to give them a seed in a cup, and then they go away and plant it. You know you're doing something good when you can teach a kid how to save its own world. The world needs healing, and the things that we humans do to water, come on, let's face it, we've got to change a few things ourselves. That is what the Aftermeal is all about, trying to get people to realize that global warming and climate change are things that we control. We can stop them tomorrow. We put ourselves together and stop
Okay, so I'm and I love that, David. Sorry, I'm trying to also get Swampy in here. Can we hear you now, Swampy? Hello? All right. No, we're not hearing him still. Okay, we're still working on it.
He might have to turn his camera off. Maybe that would lower the streaming, the signal, and we could hear his audio, because we can see him kind of glitch. But I think he's just got too much information trying to get through that pipe. And so maybe turn his camera off and just hear his audio, see if we get him there.
Yes, or maybe we can see if he was to come in through his phone with the StreamYard stream, maybe that can work. Maybe you guys know it's not going to work. Okay, I'm seeing my people down below. He's tried that. Okay, they're trying desperately to still get Swampy. And Swampy, we want to let everybody know that this show, actually, truthfully, is a continuation of years of shows that I've had Swampy on every single one of the platforms that I've hosted, and he's been on Tour of Love. He's been very involved with the nonprofit. Skip knows him very well because they're both board members, and so it's about Earth Day, and his nonprofit is been helping people throughout the world to not only learn about clean water, but actually get clean water to their areas. He's been helping to make that happen. So he's on the ground, boots on the ground, making a difference, educating, and actually getting, when you have clean water, I'll tell you, that's priceless. And I know that we're talking a lot about water, and yet there's so many other areas. And when we talk about the healing through healing through nature, I want to do this. I want to be very cognizant of time. I have 2 videos I want to share before we close. One of which right now is David explaining a little bit more about the machine. So let's go there, and then we're going to share Skip's video pretty much back to back, and then be able to close up with speaking about what it is that he shares.
Hello, I'm an activist for water conservation, and when I grow up, I'm gonna be an environmentalist. I talk about environmental issues that are very important to every creature on Earth. And for over 30 years now, my studies have shown that liquid waste is worse on the planet than solid waste. In particular, my niche is the aftermeal, our leftover food waste. You see, trying to feed the world is affecting the Earth in a very bad way. I've spent a lifetime working on a solution that will get the water out of the waste can. I can show and tell you how we are gonna put a stop to garbage pollution. And in the process, we just might heal our planet. I'm Edward Jones, a budding environmentalist.
I love it. I love it. And I'm seeing that we might be getting successful possibly with Swampy here. They're still working on it, and you got to give a lot of credit. I will say this is so evident of what it is for someone that has a passion to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else might have given up a half an hour ago saying, okay, it's just not going to work. They're still working, and we're almost done with the show, and yet they're still working to get Swampy here because it is that important. His message and to change the world is that important, and that says a lot. I'm going to share one more video, and then let's have a discussion from there.
Humanity is waking up. We've been on an amazing journey, a physical, mental, and spiritual journey. We've faced crossroads where we've had to choose between a path of fear or one of love. And now we stand at a precipice unlike ever in our recorded history. Changes to our world are unfolding before our eyes in every aspect of our lives. We face a choice, both individually and collectively as the human race. Are we going to face these times with fear, seen as a lack of money, concern for health, relationships, physical threats, perhaps even a fear to even make a choice? Or we can choose for ourselves and help others toward a path of love leading toward joy, bliss, gratitude. A path filled with remembering our original instructions given to us by this earth, by all life, shown to us through nature, leading us back to our own true nature. This is a time of remembering, being reminded, reconnecting to centuries-old wisdom carried forward by our ancestors. Our course toward our destiny will be determined by our connection to who we are. We must listen to our heart and our soul's wisdom and seeking connection and knowing. We're being called into humble service to each other, to the earth, and to all life here and beyond. The call is real, and it's now. Are you ready?
I love it. I love it. And yes, Tour of Love. My co-host, we're co-hosts on the show. And when I asked Skip if he would come on to this show in regards to healing through nature, because I know what he's done and the type of documentaries that he's done all over the world, he's interviewed some of the most wise people that there are on this planet in regards to our planet. And I love the way that you put that and narrated this piece, in that we can use the wisdom to help heal our world and go forward. And you're talking about also in there, and then I want to go into it, is sometimes there might be fear involved, there might be change involved, there might be a lot of other things, and some of us might be a little bit connected to, you're talking about having to separate my ice from my cup when I'm leaving a fast food restaurant, or you want me to do this instead of that. That might be change, that might be fear, there might be some other things that need to take place, but it's all for the good for our planet. And you shared it so well. Why don't you tell us a little bit more, Skip? And then they're still working to see if we can get Swampy in too.
Well, the message of and it goes back to the tour of love, as it ended with love is a frequency. Everything is a frequency. All the that surrounds us, the water, the air, the earth, is frequency. We're frequency. Our organs are frequency. And fear, guilt, those are all low vibrational frequencies. And there seems to be a lot of that going on. And part of what we're talking about here with everybody spoke is really that frequency, much higher frequency of love. Love for the water, love for the resources, the stones, the gems, and love for future generations, that we want to preserve this for future. So that is a higher frequency. And when David, talks about being an activist is somebody that just doesn't sit in a coffee shop and talk about it. An activist does something. And boy, has he got a record, all of y'all do, of doing something. And what we want to do is light that fire that's inside of us of remembering our instructions, just like so many of the things, the earth, be it plants or the gems or the animals, is really to be an activist to reconnect us all for the future. That the pictures were from a gathering of the Return of the Ancestors, where the condor and the eagle reunited, and that was in 2009, and leading to the 2012, December 12th, where 120 some tribes came together for the prophecies of the end of the Mayan calendar, which was counting down to year zero, which the term that was used a lot was the apocalypse. What does apocalypse mean? Not Hollywood's version. Look it up in the dictionary. It's the lifting of the veil. What's on the other side of that? And that's where we're headed. And it's a call. And so we're calling everybody to be an activist with a connection, a resonating connection of love to everything, including ourselves.
I love it. And thank you for that. And yes, Tour of Love is coming back, guys. And we will be sharing some really, we've had fun with Tour of Love, and it's meant to be fun, and there's comedy and there's music and there's all sorts of wonderful things. However, there's also lessons to be learned, and how we can raise the frequency of our world through love. And sometimes we have to look at the different subjects in a way to see, how can we make our world a better place? How can we heal whatever it is that we need to be healing? And we've been talking about that today. And I think we're close to being able to have Swampy on. And now the screens are both not there. So I was hoping that after Skip was talking that we might be able to. We've got 5 more minutes, and so hopefully we can have him in. Well, as we're starting to prepare to close up, what I would like to do right now is, we've been talking a lot about our future generation and the kids. Oh, I want to give Swampy a chance to talk. I think that he's here with us now. Let's bring him on. Okay. Our future generation and the kids. Okay. We've got a feedback issue, Swampy. That he's here with us now. Let's bring. Okay, Swampy, we need you to turn off whatever it else that's going on, and so that we can hear you and not delay in what's being said. So right now, as hopefully we can get that taken care of. Let's bring him on again. No. Why don't we do this? 30 seconds. What would you like to share for the children? And then let's see if we can get Swampy on. Professor Barry.
I think this is a very exciting time, especially for the children, because this is kids watch superhero movies, things of this. You have a chance to be a superhero. Find the cause. If you're into dolphins, get into that. If you're into David talking about water, get into that. If garbage is your things, there's so many opportunities for you to become a superhero for the planet Earth. Just pick a cause. There's so many dirt, earth, rocks, stones. So find the cause. If you need your parents to make up a costume and stuff for yourself, do that, because this is your chance to be a real life superhero. And the work that you will do, I don't care how old you are, the work you will do will speak volumes forever. So I'm already going to thank you for whatever choice you chose to help to heal the earth.
I love it. I love it.
I'm on a mission.
One more try first.
Volume, whatever. So I'm already going to thank you.
Okay, we have a problem with Swampy still. I'm so sorry, Swampy. Okay, so David.
I'm on a mission. Make Earth great again. In that capacity, I would like to just admonish people to pay attention to their after-meal leftovers, the single-use items, that cup of water. It's not to be thrown in the bag with the rest of the elements. That is the recipe for garbage. Please find an alternative to throwing water away.
I'm gonna piggyback on one. Okay, so instead of throwing your ice away in the trash until your machine is everywhere, what is the thing that they should be doing? Should they go and put it outside?
I would like people to be aware of restaurants. They spend a lot of water. They got to prepare our food. They have a niche to waste and use a lot of water. So until the machine is populated everywhere, what I would like people to be aware of is that if a restaurant owner simply puts a bucket next to the black liner bag where liquids are deposited into that, they won't let us go back into the washroom and throw our stuff into the toilet where it should be. But what my machine does, it introduces those liquids into the sewer system, where our city municipalities clean the water out before they return it back to the environment. So
there you go.
Getting it out of the black liner bag is essential. That is the one main point I want to leave. That is what causes global warming and climate change. We cross-contaminate everything once we introduce liquids into the black liner bag, or Pandora's bag, as I call it.
There you go. There you go. Thank you for that. And Skip, I'm going to let you help close this out. And Swampy, I want to let everybody know before we have you share right now, Skip, I want everybody to know that be watching, because what we'll do is we'll do something special where we can bring Swampy on again. And possibly if you guys are open to revisiting, because it doesn't have to be one time that we have you guys together, and let's get this fixed, and so that we can have Swampy be a part of this discussion and revisit again, and so that people will be able to meet him and hear from him also. So are you guys open to that?
Yeah, I'll still be on Earth for a while. I'll be on Earth for a while. That's cool.
Okay, great. We'll do that. So Swampy, you got a date in the future. We're gonna make that happen. Okay, Skip.
Just want to say thanks. This show's been great. Thank you for putting it all together, Tamara, and everybody participating, and the connection of this quote tribe. As we talked, we heard the keywords, which were one being connection. We've heard it over and over again, be it, to the water, to the animals, to each other, and to future generations. The other thing we've learned is that, how do we carry this forward for our kids and future generations? And So learning finding that passion and inspiring that passion, we each have our own. We've heard it there. And so we get fired up about that, and we become part of the solution rather than the problem in this present moment. So for kids, if they resonate with a stone, a bunny rabbit, I've got a pet squirrel here I resonate with. His name's Rocky. He's almost 2 years old, and I've raised him, slept in the bed, he's a little baby. And in life, what do you resonate with, and what inspires you, and what leads you to say, I have this frequency of love that's so important that I want to help preserve that and inspire others with that. And through storytelling, you all are all great, brilliant, and love you all. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
And I appreciate that. And, we're going to try one last time. And Swampy, if we get you in here, we're going to have like a minute to be able to say hello and have you back. Okay. There's a background. Well, we have tried, yet I will be posting. We will compare our notes, and we'll figure out a calendar, and we will have it, and so that we can get Swampy back on and hear from him. So thank you all. The bottom line with this show and why I wanted to have it, why it was so important is, I'm a Nana. I have kids. I have grandkids, and what was shared by Luana, I can agree. And it's important for us to realize, and, the native wisdom is so important. And so Skip, thank you for that video and reminding us. And if we can encourage each one of us to share this with a child, to share it with teachers, to get this information out there, follow these people, because once, like you said, Professor Barry, once a child has found their thing, once, like Skip, like David has shared, once they can embrace a tree, ground their feet in the dirt, and they realize that's fun, they want to do it more, they're going to want to protect that dirt. They're going to want to protect that tree. They're going to want to keep drinking fresh water, and we want them to want that because we need to protect it for them, and then they will protect it for the next generation, and we will have turned around a corner from the past for the future. So with that, I want to say thank you all for being a part of this fabulous panel.
Thank you, Kevin, for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Share this out, and let's have all the kids dig Earth. Wink, wink. Okay. With that, we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Pleasure meeting.